Imagine this: a tranquil, remote lake in New Mexico, surrounded by wilderness, the night sky a blanket of stars, two groups of campers, blissfully unaware of what the night had in store for them. Soft laughter echoes through the air, the scent of s'mores wafts from a flickering campfire, and stories are shared under the watchful gaze of a million twinkling stars. The natural orchestra of the night hums in the background. It's a typical camping scene, filled with camaraderie and warmth, a perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. 16 people, 10 in one group, 6 in the other, each absorbed in the enchanting tranquility of the wilderness. The night was ordinary, calm, peaceful, just as any other night in the great outdoors. But as the saying goes, appearances can be deceiving. Little did they know, the peaceful night was about to take a terrifying turn. Suddenly, piercing the calm night air, there was a sound that would send shivers down their spines. It was a chilling cry, an echo in the wilderness that was both distant yet unnervingly close. It was the sound of a little girl, her voice filled with desperation, crying out for help. A sound that was out of place in the tranquil setting of the campsite, where the only expected sounds were the crackling of the fire and the soft murmur of stories shared. The campers, all adults, found themselves gripped by a sense of confusion and alarm. The cry was clear, the plea for help unmistakable. Yet, there were no children in their group nor in the group camping nearby. The chilling cry was an anomaly, a puzzle that demanded solving. They looked at each other, their faces illuminated by the flickering campfire, and made a silent pact. Armed with nothing but their flashlights and courage, they ventured out into the field, drawn towards the eerie cries. And there it was, in the dim glow of their flashlights, a tall white figure standing still amidst the field. It was a sight that sent a chill down their spines, a sight that defied explanation. The figure was stark against the night's darkness, almost glowing in its intensity. It was tall, 6 feet at least, and impossibly thin, its form radiating an eerie, ghost-like whiteness. It was more than just a figure. It was an enigma, a mystery that held their gazes captive. As they tentatively moved closer, their hearts pounding in their chests, the figure started to recede. It was as if the very approach of the campers disturbed it. It moved slowly, backing into the heavy shroud of the trees, its form becoming indistinct, then lost in the wilderness. Its retreat was silent, yet it echoed loudly in the hearts of the campers, amplifying their fear. The figure was gone, but it left behind a heavy sense of dread. The campers stood there in the middle of the field, their flashlights casting long, eerie shadows. They looked at each other, their faces reflecting confusion and fear. They were left with more questions than answers. What was that figure? Why was it imitating the cries of a little girl? And most importantly, where had it gone? The figure vanished, leaving behind a chilling silence. But the night was far from over. Back at the campsite, the once peaceful night had turned into a nightmare. The laughter and stories that had previously filled the air were replaced with an eerie silence, punctuated only by the haunting cries of a child seemingly lost in the wilderness. A sense of dread hung heavy over the camp, a blanket of fear that the cheerful firelight could not penetrate. Every rustle of leaves sent hearts pounding, every gust of wind sounded like whispers of the unknown, and every shadow seemed to dance with the chilling echoes of the little girl's cry. The typical sounds of the night were now a soundtrack to their terror. The campers huddled together, their eyes wide and alert, the comfort of sleep an impossible dream. As the hours wore on, the cries seemed to grow louder, more desperate. They echoed through the trees, a constant reminder of the unexplained figure they had encountered. The campers could only imagine what horrors the darkness concealed from their view, their minds painting pictures far more terrifying than any ghost story told around a campfire. As the sun rose, it marked the end of a night they would never forget. The morning light did little to alleviate the fear that had settled in their hearts. But the question remains, what was that figure in the field, and whose cries were they echoing into the night? Be sure to subscribe for more spooky stories. A new video is uploaded every week.